I'm Jason, and I'm an education manager at the Fleet Science Center. Are you a parent or a caregiver? Are you finding yourself spending a lot more time with your children at home? Are you intimidated to do science activities at home because you don't have a science background? Are you unsure of doing science because you don't know the answer to the activity or the demonstration? If you answered yes to any of those questions, then I have some tips and tricks for you in this video that will hopefully encourage you to bring science into your home with the confidence that you need to facilitate those activities with your children. To demonstrate some of these tips, I have a demonstration here of my own right here on the table. You can replicate this activity at home. What you'll need is an empty bottle and a crumpled up piece of paper. I have a glass olive oil jar. Plastic will work just as well. And for the crumpled up piece of paper, it'll need to be about the size of a Post-it note and then ball it up as tight as you can. And here's what we're going to try. I'm going to place the balled up piece of paper in the neck of the jar, and my task is to get the piece of paper from the neck of the jar into the body of the jar. I can't use my hands, so I'm going to have to blow on the piece of paper. And I think that when I blow on the paper, the ball is going to go into the jar. Well, let's try it out. Well, let's try it again. Okay, now we finally got the desired results. The exact opposite of what I suspected happened. I thought the ball was going to go into the jar, and it actually came flying out of the jar. Now, what I want to know is why that happened. I could go online at this point and I could search for the results, but science isn't always about finding the answers. It's about learning the processes and the steps to learn more about the world around us. In this case, I want to learn more about why that ball didn't go into that jar. So, what can I change? Well, I had a medium-sized crumpled up ball of paper, but now let's say I use one that's twice as big, and I put that in the jar and I try the exact same process. I wonder what would happen. Let's try it. Okay, so the exact same thing happened. The ball was twice the size, and it still came flying out of the jar. What else could I change? What else can I vary? I have a glass jar, but what if it was plastic? And what if I cut a hole on one end? Would that make a difference? What would happen in that case? What if I used a jar that had a larger opening? One like this. Would I get the same results? It's important as a parent or caregiver to encourage your children to isolate one variable at a time. Changing more than one, if the results vary, then you wouldn't know which of the variables contributed to that change. With younger students, you may need to help facilitate these variables. With older students, meaning upper elementary and middle school students, you may be able to provide them with the ownership to change those variables on their own. We still don't have an answer, but I have a ton of things that I want to try as soon as this video is over. So I'm going to pause here, and I hope that this provided you with a little bit of encouragement to start some science activities at home, and I hope that you find this fun to do with your children, and that this opens up a ton of opportunities and possibilities for science activities in your home.